Of course.
Thank you for having me. Big cup of coffee. So ready for this chat.
You're set with the coffee. So, Niketa, we were talking a little bit about some of the skills that we realize we have as former journalists, which are not necessarily the skills that, a newsroom, a bustling newsroom in the thick of things might point out. For example, we know, of course, you have a really developed news sense. If you work as a journalist, you need that in the industry. For folks who are sometimes a bit, worried, anxious, have some trepidation about stepping out of the newsroom, transitioning industries, what are some of the transferable skills you would like to highlight that most journalists seem to have?
Sure, yeah. I'd like to say that I'm good at communicating. So remembering the skills that you have in terms of going out into the community, talking to people, developing sources, building relationships. That is so important internally, right, as well within newsrooms. And so taking the duality of communication skills along to any job, I think, is just incredibly valuable. I also think what's exciting to me about journalism is technology and innovation. And so we use so many different platforms and tools and whatnot. And having those kinds of skills is also incredibly applicable across many different industries as well.
And Niketa, what are some of the lessons you wish you'd known earlier on? We talk a lot about, like Sakthy just brought up, allyship. In the corporate world, we talk a lot about mentorship and allyship. These aren't really buzzwords in the newsroom, if you know what I mean. Do you think that's something journalists and jobbing journalists need to be thinking about, even in that space where the career progression seems to be a little bit different?
Absolutely. I think so important to establish all of your kind of allies across, like, not only within your team, but in other teams and departments as well, because within, like, newsrooms can be incredibly hierarchical and political as much as, like, sort of like big corporate companies are as well. And so making sure that you have different allies in different parts of an organization, it just really helps to have that network internally of people that you can trust and go and vent to, that you can brainstorm with, even like tap into for creative ideas and solutions, right? To know that sometimes if you're struggling with things or need inspiration, that there is a wealth of people inside the company as well. So yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And, I want to ask both of you, Niketa first and then Sakthy. And thank you, everyone who's been patient with us for the echo. I hear the echo is gone. So fingers crossed as we talk about the importance of communicating and using tech and all of the tools at our disposal. Niketa, there's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of concern globally, but definitely in the media industry about what Gen AI is going to mean in terms of, the change in the nature of our jobs. People already experimenting a lot with, of course, AI in terms of how does it help with news writing, story writing, panel discussions. Apparently, there's some panels that have been very well succinctly summarized by AI without the need for human beings. What are you hearing? What are some of the things that journalists need to keep in mind, especially, I suppose, not just those who are covering tech as a beat, but those who are a little bit stressed and concerned? Niketa first, and then we'll come to Sakthy.
Sure, yeah. I'm actually really excited and very optimistic about generative AI and what that means for the future of news. Obviously, it is a scary time of transition, right? But within digital journalism, if you look at the last 20 years, we've constantly been in this state of change. And I kind of love that because I think it keeps us on our toes. We keep learning, we keep growing individually as individual newsrooms, as an industry. And I think that we've learned a lot of lessons, especially from the platform era, right? So now we're moving away from that into this post-platform era with generative AI being like sort of the next wave, right, that we're in. And I think it's really exciting. I think there's a ton of opportunity. I'm all for finding, solutions and different technologies to help with productivity, so that journalists can do less of the grunt work and annoying tasks and things like that. And we can use AI in such smart ways for like data analysis, for, creating amazing visuals, right? There's tons of great tools out there that can help with that, whether it's like data visuals, graphics, images, videos. Like for me, that is really exciting. I think the potential for AI to enhance our journalism is the most, promising thing that's out there right now today. And obviously, as newsrooms and as individual journalists, I think we need to approach generative AI using our moral compass, right? Like when we all went to journalism school, we learned about ethics and guidelines. And I think we always have to have that as our North Star when we think of any new tool, right? Not just generative AI, but remembering, making sure that we remember that we have to always keep working within the guidelines of our ethics, integrity, using these tools, testing them, experimenting. That's the only way we can learn, right, effectively. And that way, hopefully, that we'll see better journalism as an outcome to that.